Hello, my lovely Geminis. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to your weekly reading for the week of the 17th to the 23rd of June. So we're just going to dive straight in. I do have a different spread this week. So this is really going to highlight your journey through life, your spiritual journey. So I'll explain it to you as we go along. But first of all, we're going to do the oracles like we always do. The first card coming out for you is Come to the Edge, right? I always see this similar to the Fool card, taking a leap of faith, doing something a little bit risky. This card always gives me the words like flirting with life a little bit, living life on the edge a little bit and doing something a little bit differently. So you could be having these feelings of a little bit of Sagittarius energy coming in, to be honest with you, where it's more like risk taking and just spontaneous events. So maybe you'll be making some decisions this week that are like that are more based on fun and risque than anything else. So, but let's see another card from this deck, because that one came out quite early. I always say though, with this Come to the Edge card, it is literally saying come to the edge. So it is something you're being called to do, is to do something differently. Do something, if you are a grounded person or have been lately, Gemini, and you've lacked a little bit of fun or again, risk in your life, make sure everything is calculated, of course. This is only if you feel guided to it. So come to the edge, as you can see. This platform that she's on, this place that she has stayed on anyway, is starting to crumble. So the way that I see that is where you are currently is going to kind of force you to go to this leap of faith anyway. Maybe you can sense that too. For some of you, it may be to do with a romantic connection. Maybe it is about, we have a lot of love hearts coming through here, Gemini. So maybe it's about doing something risky with somebody in a good way. When I'm saying risk, by the way, it's good. So I just want to clarify that. Maybe it's about, hey, like, do you want to just elope and get married? Or maybe it's about, maybe I will go out tonight, or I will go to that invite I had with, someone. And then you meet your love of your life. I don't know what it is, but you're feeling called to do something you never probably would. And it seems like it's leading you towards something quite beneficial to you. Again, it could be to do with a soulmate. It could be about meeting a soulmate. All right. But regardless, there's a lot of love hearts going on in your reading. So I just love it. It feels good. But let's carry on. We have a lot of oracles to get through. For my lovely Geminis this week, please, Spirit, what do you have to say? What are the messages? We have the third chakra. Okay, this is your solar plexus. This is your willpower. So if that's been blocked lately, it feels like you're definitely feeling more confident, more able to do things, which might actually be aligned to come to the edge. So maybe in the past you didn't feel very confident. You didn't feel like you had a lot of drive. That seems to be changing here. Let's get you some chakra cards for my lovely Geminis. Self-worth, okay. Self-worth is something that's happening for you. Well, you guys are stepping into your self-worth. And you have forgiveness, which is interesting. So the way that I will see this is maybe this is calling for you to forgive people who may have impacted your self-worth, whether this is all the way in the past to do with your parents, because sometimes a lot of that is based on how we were brought up, but sometimes it's about our experiences with other people. Sometimes the forgiveness is also about ourselves, forgiving ourselves for depending our self-worth on others, because the story behind this, there are stories behind all of these cards, and the story behind the self-worth card actually is saying that the throne only really shows up to those who are worthy. And these kids are having fun here, and she goes to see and she sees it, but people don't believe that she's seen it, right? So, but she has. So it's almost like maybe other people don't agree with you or don't think you're worthy, and jokes on them, because that's just a horrible way of living if that's what they do. But as long as you know that you're worthy and that you're able to see that, to see these amazing qualities of yourself, to believe in yourself, really, that's really what matters the most. And I kind of feel like the forgiveness is to do with anybody who has interfered with that, and also to forgive yourself for maybe, again, believing in others when they told you that you were not good enough, or whatever it is. Like, again, this could be to do with past relationships, or again, just relationships with people. Soulmates can be really anyone, not just romantic. It can be family, it could be friends, or just people that we meet for a reason. There's something very important about forgiving something, someone, or yourself that may have gotten in the way of your self-worth. Okay, but you're stepping into it now. You're sitting on that throne. I love it. All right, let's see what else is coming up for you. I have a lot of oracles there. I'm just looking around like which one is next. For Geminis this week, what can we say here? What are the key words and affirmations for Gemini? Forgiveness coming up again. All right, so it's very clear. This is a time for forgiveness. The affirmation for this is, I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. And it's not about the other person. It's really about ourselves. Is it affecting you? The hurts, holding on to the hurts of other people and what they've done. Is blaming others still preventing you from actually stepping into what you know you're deserving of? A lot of the time we get this where it's like, oh, well, if that person never did this to me, then I would be in a much better position. And, but that is in the past, and maybe it does still impact you. And there's a lot of healing to do with that. I totally get it. I'm a human being too. I've been there. But it's almost like, moving forward, how can we get that back again? Instead of blaming it on the past, we can change it now moving forward. We can't change the past. What's done is done, but we can bring that back into our world. The more that we're blaming others or holding resentment, we're actually blocking ourselves from stepping back into that. I'm sure we can all think about people in our lives who maybe have gone through a lot of their lives blaming the past, but never changing their future, So it's almost like we don't want to be like that. And I think I'm already telling you something that you might already know, is that this is time to forgive now. So maybe writing things down like to this person, never sending it, but just getting it off your chest, or maybe speaking to a therapist or anybody, because a lot of the time we hold on to things because we don't feel heard in it. We don't feel seen with that pain. We don't feel like, we're understood with that. So again, if you can get it out there, if you do whatever helps you, Gemini, but ultimately it is time to forgive, clearly, because it's coming up twice now in your reading. All right, what else is next? I have this deck for you. For Geminis, can we get 3 of these? Playfulness, very similar to the first card you had. You have enchantment, which I actually need to start looking in the book about that, because every time this comes up, I'm like, I don't know exactly what this card is saying when it comes down to enchantment, but I feel like it's about adding magic to something. When something is enchanting, it's like magical, right? It's calling you in or whatever. So this could be significant for you. Maybe it is about following the magic and following where you're being called to go. For a lot of you, it is to do with playfulness, bringing fun into your life in whatever way. And you do also have soulmates again, so we do have a lot of repeating cards coming through here. Alrighty, my angels, let's dive into your reading. So I'm doing a 3x3. First section is going to be where you were, so it is a little bit of the past influence, but it's all about your journey. So we're going to see where you are now and then where you're going, and then we'll look at you, your soul, who you are, where you were, who you are now, and who you are becoming. So that's all to come. Let's see. The first, where was Gemini? Can we have a little look into Gemini's path of where they were? Where you were. 3, please. Interesting. It's showing a time here. You have the world, which is amazing. So it's showing me a time where there was a new beginning. I kind of sense a little bit of like, confidence. Maybe you feel the 9 of Pentacles can be a very independent energy, but we do also have the Hierophant too. So maybe this is about your beliefs, feeling very independent, very worthy within yourself. Maybe there was a relationship or a marriage here that's important at this time, but there's a lot of independence here. Maybe feeling financially stable. It's bringing up a time of stability, of commitment, and of a new cycle for you. This feels like a good time. Like it's reflecting back to a time where you felt really good in your life. Again, financially abundant or self-sufficient, independent. And the Hierophant again can either be your beliefs, feeling very committed to your spiritual beliefs, your religious beliefs, whatever it is. Or again, it could be a relationship. We will clarify this stuff. I'm going to look at where you are now so I can see the difference, if there is any. For Geminis, where they are now. 2 more. 1 more. Queen of Swords. So something's definitely happened. Three of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is kind of like the change of fate. And I could kind of see it coming because it's reflecting on the time where you felt really like you felt good. You felt like you were looking after yourself. Yeah, you prioritized yourself a lot. But now you're in this heart defensive position. The Queen of Swords trying to protect your heart because clearly it's broken in some way. And the Wheel of Fortune, clearly, maybe it feels like you've had a little bit of bad luck since then. And that's what the Wheel of Fortune can represent here. The wheel turned. Maybe you feel like you've lost that part of yourself. It definitely feels like someone has hurt you or you went through a very hurtful, painful situation since then. So you've learned about boundaries. One thing I want to say to you, sometimes we can look at the past again and feel like, oh, I was doing so good before that person came into my life or before that specific thing happened. And although you're probably very right, sometimes we go through things to learn a lesson so that we can kind of bounce back, still have these things. You're capable of financial abundance. You're capable of independence. You're capable of sticking to your beliefs or having a good routine or whatever that Hierophant means, being in a relationship or whatever. It's just that now you've learned an additional lesson to make sure you have on top of this. But let's see what this is about. Can we look at the Three of Swords? What's caused this heartache? King of Wands could be a fire sign or someone who may be very charismatic. Let's see, Three of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Two of Pentacles. What's interesting, Three of Swords can represent separation, and I do feel like something has hurt you. The Hierophant and the Two of Pentacles is to do with like a decision based on this Hierophant. So however the Hierophant, whatever it means to you, some of you will be relationships, some of you will be beliefs. The King of Wands, Hierophant, Two of Pentacles, something that's hurt you. It may again be about your beliefs. Maybe they are a little bit in a struggle right now because of something that's happened to you. Two of Pentacles is almost like a juggling, but not being certain about what to choose or what to believe anymore. Maybe because of a person here, Leo energy coming through. It could be any sign, to be honest with you. But this could be someone who is a bit unreliable or a bit, what's the word for it? Who is this King of Wands? Can I see what this is? The Nine of Wands. Clearly someone who might have hurt you. Nine of Wands is another card for needing to protect yourself, which is interesting that came up when I'm trying to ask who is this person, and that energy is coming through. And we have the same here. This could be a boss, a manager. This could be about your job actually for some of you too. I see the Queen of Swords. Page of Swords and the Fool. So that's interesting because the Fool is similar to what we had in the beginning. I feel like you need to follow your curiosity or your intuition because it does feel like it's trying to tell you to go in a specific direction that is, again, new. The Fool card is jumping into the unknown, but you're feeling called to it. The universe is kind of highlighting that this new beginning is very important. As you can see with the Page of Swords, they're kind of, as they're studying something with all these ideas, they're moving forward into new territory, which is kind of similar to what the Fool card represents anyway. So for some of you, I think you have to protect yourself and maybe prioritize yourself. Gemini, it's not the first time I've said this to you. I feel like it's like a common theme that you've been learning. I would say to dive into new information and new knowledge. That Page of Swords is studying something. It's reading that book. It's gaining all sorts of ideas. And that's what seems to be keeping it balanced as it's walking this tight line, or a sword. So the Queen of Swords, boundaries. I think again, that's about protecting yourself here. I don't know if someone is like keeping you like attached a little bit or, being stringed along. Something that's a little bit like not very stable or very certain. This could again just be your current situation. I don't know if it's to do with love. The Ace of Cups is there. So it could be a relationship. It could be, someone that you're working with, or again, your job in general, it's clearly something that is not super, it's causing some pain and causing a lot of uncertainty. And something that you feel that you have to defend yourself from, and to take a leap of faith somewhere else. Clarify the Wheel of Fortune, 5 of Wands, Queen of Wands, so it can definitely be love for some of you. Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, and the World card. So they're saying you're actually in the middle of another transformation. So you have definitely gone through something since this last chapter of your life, since this independence and all this goodness, this stability. Clearly, there has definitely been some conflict. 5 of Wands, some kind of chaotic situations. This is like a fate card as well, by the way. It's kind of about fate, and can sometimes be about luck, or the opposite. It can be a very positive card, but it's also a very neutral one too. It depends on what's coming. It just basically says a wheel is always turning. What goes up must come down, what goes down must go back up again. It's constantly moving. So you clearly had an up. They're highlighting an up in your life that maybe you do reflect back on. It's referring to maybe a low in your life at the moment, one that you're definitely moving out of, by the way. I can see that. I just think you've had to learn a very harsh but necessary lesson when it comes down to protecting your peace, protecting your energy, and something that made you quite serious, I will say, because the Queen of Swords she's quite clouded when it comes down to everything else aside from her head. So she has a knowing, she has her truth, and she knows that. But when it comes down to her heart, she is the wounded queen out of all of them. She's been through a lot to do with her heart. So she's learned to protect herself and, really place a very strong boundary and to ask questions before anyone can come into her heart. So I feel like you've been through a breakup or a difficult, situation that has affected your heart. So Queen of Wands with the King of Wands. So coming through with this, there may have definitely been some conflict within a relationship here, but we do have the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. So I'm kind of sensing that there is going to be like a really good, well, you have 2 new beginnings. You have a passionate new beginning and a very grounded one, which was nice. This can mean definitely like a new job for some of you guys. The Ace of Wands can sometimes be about moving, doing something that you're passionate about, a new hobby for instance as well. But it's like motivation, feeling motivated in your life again, which is interesting because this seems to be happening once you've gone through that kind of conflict and pain, and once you've gained your confidence back again. Some of you, a very important lesson here, or message at least, is coming through your reading. This is similar to the self-worth. Maybe you compared yourself to others in the past, and that made you feel like you had to kind of fight for that worth. You had to do all these crazy things to be worthy, and maybe that's highlighting an old relationship that you've been through. That might be what the heartache is about. Maybe it's to do with your parents. It's almost like people put you in competition with others to prove your worthiness. You had to kind of climb, what's the saying where it's like you had to go above and beyond in order for someone to see you or to say, hey, like, you're worthy, Gemini. Like, the Queen of Wands just shines naturally. She is a very beautiful person anyway, and this is how you're coming up. You didn't have to fight for it. You are in your own league, Gemini. So I am seeing you coming out of a conflicting period, and this is almost you starting again. Same with work. Again, it could be the same thing. You had to fight for that promotion, you're up against other people, or I don't know, there's almost like something has put you in competition to prove yourself. And I feel like Spirit's like, you don't need to do that anymore. You are naturally just yourself. You're able to, be a magnet to things that you're deserving of, as long as you believe you're deserving of it. You don't have to prove your worthiness to others. Let's see where you're going then, guys. Yeah, I was just about to speak about that Page of Swords and how it could be important. So it's very funny that it's just come up there, because I almost feel like, again, what they're saying is follow the calling to do something different or to come out of that situation, because I think you know better. Like, there's something within you. One thing I wanted to say to you was, if someone is saying like, oh, you're just too sensitive, or are you taking it too personally, or there's something here that your inner child or your inner self is like, this is bull crap, this is not right. Like, I don't know, there's an inner you that's like fighting for you almost, that maybe just trying to swing the sword around saying this is wrong, or there's a part of you on the inside that's almost like you have this inner voice that's trying to guide you. That's something that knows that something is not fair, but maybe doesn't have the best way of explaining it. So like people can kind of counter argue it. Like people have kind of counter argued it almost. Like, I don't know what I'm seeing here, Gemini, but it's almost like you've kind of stayed strong and faced something, but your inner self has been like, this is just, I just want to leave, but it's like maybe, life has kind of made it a little bit more difficult for you to just get up and leave, or maybe again, someone's kind of manipulated you, or, just not being able to see what you're going through. And it's just like, no, you're just too sensitive, or, I don't know. It's like almost like you've been put through like a really unfair situation. So, no doubt that something has affected you to your core a bit here. But your inner self is like, let's leave, let's just go somewhere else. So the fact that I was thinking that and then it came back up again is quite interesting. I think it's about following your inner guidance a little bit more. Maybe taming it in a sense that sometimes our inner child can just be really triggered. And if you, imagine children when they're mad, they have not learned how to deal with their feelings and emotions properly, or how to communicate them properly. So it can come off as quite like hurtful or, triggered. So I feel like for some of you, it's about learning how to deal with that, but not suppress it. How to listen to your inner child and honor it. But at the same time, it's that a little bit of that balance coming through. Let's get two more. Where are you going? Where's Gemini going? 7 of Pentacles, so working on your finances, and the Ace of Pentacles as well. So there are a few messages. I'm going to clarify these as well as we go along. So Page of Swords, the Knight of Cups, that's interesting. The 6 of Cups, the 5 of Cups. One more for the Knight of Cups too. Let's see the 7 of Pentacles. You definitely have a new beginning coming through. I really am sensing like a change in jobs, or a change in how maybe you make money, or your home situation. And let's get the Ace of Pentacles. You have the Ace of Pentacles twice, by the way. Okay, and you have you're going to make back what you feel like you've lost. That's something I want to say, because I will show you, sorry. Ace of Pentacles is coming through with that 9 of Pentacles again. So maybe you're going to go back to the old thing that you used to do, or at least a result that you used to have when it comes down to your finances, your abundance, and your stability. So that's nice. Let's talk about the Page of Swords very quickly, because I do feel like some of you might get like a little bit of a visit from someone of the past. I know some of you don't want to hear it, and maybe it's not for everybody, but I will say for the odd few that are having this message of, you are going to have a little bit of, this came up with let's try and put them all together here. The Emperor is the Knight of Cups. So it does feel like a masculine energy, or somebody who, I don't know if it's a father figure, I don't know. But the Emperor usually is somebody who takes the lead or takes action. Okay, can be an aggressive person, can be a control freak, I don't know. Or it could just be somebody who is just trying to make a move here. The Knight of Cups is more of an emotional message coming away. I don't think you're buying it, because you're in a Page of Swords triggered energy and like guarded. And the 6 of Cups and 5 of Cups is here. So this is telling me this is someone you have dealt with. This is someone who has disappointed you in some way, or it ended in a disappointing way. Definitely left you in a bit of a spiral, because that 5 of Cups is a bit of a negative, depressed or mental, spiral here. So this person coming in is something that you're very triggered about. That forgiveness card again, I'm just going to say, I feel like it's coming in for you to forgive, not for you to accept this person back into your life again. You do you, Gemini, do whatever you feel called to do. But I feel like it's almost like squashing that resentment, again, with boundaries that you've learned to have, but it is about no longer allowing that to hurt you, to harm you, or to trigger you, to bring up all those things again. It's about trying to find a way around it that you can find peace and allow love to flow in your life. So yeah, there is something like that. Whether they come up again or not, I'm not exactly sure. Whether you're just going to have some nostalgia about it. And again, it's asking for you to deal with that pain that has caused you. Not just to like suppress it and keep it down there. It's to release it, surrendering it is clearly important. Seven of Pentacles, there's a few messages around this. Usually it's my card of like feeling a bit like, should I just give up? Should I carry on with what I'm doing? I would say, and I never usually get this message, that again, they're asking for a new beginning when you feel this way. If something is not really giving to you as much as you're giving back to it, of course, be patient with it is very important. But because you have the wild card, it does signify a new beginning. So whether you change something and it becomes a bit new, but it's the same thing, that kind of energy. Seven of Wands, Knight of Wands, Page of Wands. Some of you, the new beginning is just about having some fun with what you're building. So in your career, can you make, good times with the people around you, instead of it just being about the money and the structure, which takes a while to grow, and the savings, whatever it is. How can you bring fun into it? How can you make it something a bit more motivating, or maybe having some holidays in between can, or on the weekends can make it a bit more exciting. Or, the Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands is very like spontaneous and fun, and is a card of travel and adventure and opportunity. So how can we bring that into what it is that you're working on, or to go towards that fun instead of what you've been working on? It's up to you how that resonates. Seven of Wands is saying, despite how things look and despite the odds, you will have success over maybe a financial or work situation, or just building something. It can just be you, building on yourself. The next thing you have is the Ace of Pentacles. So there is a new stream of income coming through, or again, a new stable beginning, something that brings you a lot of like stability into your life and abundance. It was then clarified by the Nine of Pentacles, which we did have in this past position, which is lovely. So you are going to get that peace. You are going to feel more independent. You are going to feel more happy. You have the King of Swords, which I love, and the Ten of Cups, which is speaking about ultimate happiness, feeling like you are exactly where you need to be. And the King of Swords is about having that strategy. It is your card. You're an air sign, so it's natural to have this coming through. It's about intelligence, integrity, information, maybe for work, or, communicating more with the community or people. It's about having a good structure and strategy, most importantly. So yeah, you have two Aces of Pentacles. You actually have three Aces in your reading here, and two wild cards. So very new beginning. I feel like the new beginning, the leap of faith, is really about bringing fun into your world, and not allowing anyone or anything to block that. Okay. All right, my angels, but just remember, you are going to have financial stability. You are going to feel in a very secure, safe space, which I love that, and feel very happy and at peace. All right, let's have a little quick look, because I think I've been explaining things for way too long for you guys. Let's see who you are. Let's have a little deep dive here. For Gemini, Nine of Cups, very, self-fulfilled, happy. You brought things into your own world here. You felt very content with where you were. Who you are now, the Hermit, having come a very long way since then. This is kind of the dark night of the soul almost. It's kind of about being alone, or definitely have climbed a mountain in your life and having the opportunity to look at things from a different perspective, from a place of wisdom. Wisdom is about having gone through that experience. He has the star in his lantern, which represents shining hope on a situation. So for some of you, that's what you're doing, but you definitely are in a very wise place compared to where you were in the past. And in the future, who you are becoming is the Strength card, balanced. All right, understanding the strength of vulnerability, of compassion, of kindness, and of love, as well as, of course, the beast mode of action and aggression. The lion knows all about hunting and territory. It's, if you think of a lion, is action based. In order to stand its ground, it's very action based. Whereas the maiden here is much more soft, but just as powerful. She has her hand near its mouth, which other people would be like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? But she's not afraid. her vulnerability in this situation is her strength. So you guys are going to be extremely balanced within this. And again, you're going to love both aspects of yourself and feel very strong in both of these. And again, not afraid to be in this like beautiful position of maybe standing up for yourself or standing up for others in a very kind but strong way. But anyway, that's what I have for you guys. I wish you all the best. Sorry that it's super long-winded, but I hope that whoever needed to hear it felt that it was impactful and something that was necessary for you guys. But I will love you and leave you. I will see you guys in the next videos. All right.